So this is me setting up to make an apron. My craft room, I'm going to just show you that, is so full and messy that I have to actually do my ironing out on the landing. So yeah, here's my light up so as I can see, and I'm actually recording this on my phone today because I've left my iPad at work. So I'm hoping this is going to work because I'm using my phone rather. I made these bags to keep all my supplies in, so I keep everything to do with aprons in this bag. And when we open it up, you can see it's plastic on the top so as I can see what's in there. My strap binding is on there for the straps, so that's always in there. And then I've got some aprons that I've made previously folded up in there. There's quite a few in there, and then there's scraps of fabric that I might need. So I know I need some white for the lining for this apron, and I think that's all I need out of there. But that really helps me to make sure I know where everything is, because I'm always losing things. So I always need the iron set up. I actually like working on the ironing board because it's at the right height for me. So plug in the iron, always have that ready. I've got the fabric that the lady wants. She wants 2 zip pockets, so those zips go quite nicely with that fabric. And that's the fabric that she's going to need for her apron. And then this is the black denim. Now I like the black denim because it's thick, and what the feedback I've had is that it keeps people's laps warm, so and it's sturdy as well. So I'm going to measure this. Normally I do 24 by 20, 24 inches by 20 inches, and it's 20 inches wide, and it's doubled over. So I'm going to go measure that and cut it, and take you through the next process. So I have got my lovely pencil that I actually got from Liberties in London. I treated myself. I thought I'd use these pencils every single day, so why not? So the easiest way to measure this fabric then is to make a mark and then to iron it flat. And then I've got a crease line to cut. Nice and hot. Oh, where have I left the scissors? I'm going to be using my embroidery machine today, because this client wants her name embroidered on her apron. Oops, if I don't drop the phone, sorry. I just realised the drawer's open, everything's hanging out. It's asking me to move something because it knows that there is something in the way, and I've just realised there's a bag at the back there, so I'm just going to move that. And that was just another one of my project bags, and that project bag is for the stoma bag covers. So I keep everything, including the pattern and everything, inside there. So when anybody orders a stoma bag cover, I go straight there, get the fabric out and make it. So back to the embroidery machine. If I can hold the phone and manage this, I'll press OK there. And the arm moves around. So I'm going to embroidery, edit, and then I'm going to choose an alphabet because she wants her name on there. So it's quite easy to set up. I will check this and check I've got it right before I print it, before I let it go. So I think it's Mrs. And then I can do a space, let's say it's Mrs. W. I'll have to check it because I can never remember the names. There is a proper little pointer for this, but it's in this one, probably in that drawer. So I will change that to the right way and then set it up. So that's the embroidery machine. And I'll use a colour green that matches the colour of the apron that she's chosen. So I've cut my piece of fabric out, which is 24 inches by 20, and I've folded it in half. It is hard to see because it's black fabric. Then I've folded it in quarters then, and then make a mark at the top there in that corner, because that tells me that's the middle, the centre. So what I need to do now is mark where I want the embroidery to go. So I've got to allow the tape there is 1 inch. So there's 1 inch there I can't account for. What I normally do is have the apron part about 3 inches away from that 1 inch. So normally have it about here. So I'll just make a little dot there. So I know that the writing, an inch up there, where's that then? The writing has got to be in between those two dots. So it's got to be in between that size there, that space. So I'm going to flatten that out. This has been stored on a shelf, so but the fabric will cover that. You'll not see that when it's finished. So what I need to do then is I can make some lines, maybe 1 inch above that dot. Really, really faint line that the embroidery will sit on, and there again is the centre. So I want the name to sit there. What I'm going to do is just give this a bit of a press, because it needs to be really flat to go in the embroidery machine. In case you haven't noticed, I've got another cold. So I was quite poorly over Christmas and March. It took till about March. I remember doing YouTube videos in March and had a sore throat, coughing, lots of coughing, and this time I had I think the flu or something, maybe COVID, not sure. But I am feeling better, and hence I'm doing this apron. So I press that now just to take those creases out and make it lie flat. So what I've done out of the camera shot, because it's quite challenging, is I pinned the fabric down onto the embroidery frame, and hopefully you can see that. Yeah, so on the embroidery frame is the what is this called, this paper, yeah, what is this paper called? Anyway, that's on there. And then I pinned this on the top. Here's my markings that I did originally, and they're all in line. And then there's markings here, and I can feel it underneath, and I made small markings here to make sure that this fabric is accurate. So I have to put this in that way. So I'm also going to get this all out of the way, because that there piece has got to go into the embroidery machine. It slots in that way, so the writing has to go there. The writing's going there. So I will go and get that slotted in, and then I will come back to you. So it is a challenge to get the place where I want to do the embroidery in the right place. So I'm just going to show you this little tool here, if that'll work. So it measures for me to tell me where it's going to do the sewing. And I think I've got that quite accurate where I want it to be. So I'm going to start there now in the centre. There is a loose thread there, but I'll snip that off at the end. This whole design is going to take 8 minutes. So it tells you there on the top of the machine, 8 minutes. This part I think is going to be 2 minutes, or 2 minutes in. A bit blurry. So I'm going to leave that sewing while I get the next part of the apron ready. So that's it finished, and what I've got to do now is, and probably I don't know if I can do this one-handed, I undo the clip and then just gently pull. Yep, that's it. There we go, and there's the name embroidered on there. So on to the next step. So you can see here that I've added the lining and I've drawn in the zips where I want them to be positioned. So underneath is the right side of the fabric, and then just a closer look here, I have drawn the zips on where I'm going to place the zips, and here is my zip. So I've made sure that I found out where the centre was and put a little nick, and if I put that on there like that, you can see that I'm not going to go over the metal pieces of the zip either, and I've got 2 zips which fell on the floor, the other one. So I'm now going to go and sew around these really slim rectangles which are for my zips, and I will show you the next stage. So my machine is a Brother FS180QC, and I hardly ever use any of these stitches, and I've changed the colour. I've got a nice green on there and a green bobbin, so now I'm going to sew the zip area now. So I've sewn the 2 zip areas, so you can see small rectangles. I've got my little tiny sharp scissors here because I need to cut those slits. So take all the pins out, and you'll probably notice that this has got a split in it, and the reason for that is when I turn it inside out, I won't be able to. I need this cut so that I can sew it on the inside. It'll all become clear. So very carefully now, I need to cut this fabric, and if you had noticed there's little arrows there which are very, very faint, so I need to cut this all the way up to that point, and then I need to go right in there and cut without cutting the thread. And the same on this side, without cutting the thread. Tiny bit more there. I've actually got a little piece of thread that's gone a bit too far there, so I need to cut that out as well. Get them out of the way. Just check I've got it on the other side as well. And then do the same with this one. Because there's 2 zips on this front of this apron. I love the sound of cutting fabric. Well, I love the sound of cutting actually, even paper or fabric. So that's that corner done, and now this one. I can feel underneath, I've got my fingers underneath, and I can feel where the scissors are going. And that one there, very carefully. There we go. So, always, whenever you've been sewing, I could have done this a minute ago, always press your stitches, because I've watched this or read this somewhere. The needle makes a hole in the fabric. The heat of the iron closes the hole up, and that's what we need to do. So I'm going to do this left one left to me first. I'm going to shove it in the hole all the way through like that. So you're probably getting the picture now of what's happening. And of course you couldn't do this if you hadn't made that slit in the centre. And guess how I know that? Ha ha ha. Because I've already done it before, of course I have. So that's without being pressed or ironed or flattened properly or even sewn over. That's what we're getting to. We're getting to 2 zip pockets here, and then I've got to put a lining on the back. So let's get this nice and flat and ironed, and then I can sew up that hole there. So start with 1 pocket. I'm going to actually go in there and iron that a bit flatter. With all my tools, I always have loads of tools on the iron board, and then I can't even use the iron. So actually that pencil's going to come in nice and handy to flatten that in. I'm just going to use that pencil just to push that over. I don't know if it's working very well actually. So you can see that I've pressed the front of the apron, and I've actually just dropped the zips underneath there to see if they are okay and if they fit, and they do. So the first thing I'm going to do is go and sew that gap up, so that's not in the way, and then I'll sew those zips in. Both zips are in. My advice about putting zips in is, oh, that zip feels a bit dodgy. Oh, you're joking. I'm going to have to redo that zip. My advice about zips is to do a straight line there, a straight line there, and when you've got the zip in where you want it to be, then do these 2 lines, making sure that your zip is out of the way. Do those 2 lines there, and that's what it looks like on the background. But this zip is coming out, and I've got to find another zip because there's something, I think there's a tooth missing on that zip. I can feel it when I open it. So I will go and find another zip to replace that one. A cup of tea and a bar of chocolate, because I've checked the teeth on this zip and there's teeth missing, which I never checked the zip before I put it in, and I can hear it. And this apron is going to be used for cards, and it's going to get regular use every single day. That one's fine, but guess what? I haven't got another zip that colour. So I now have to replace both zips. I had to have a cup of tea and a chocolate to calm me down. But anyway. So, snip in the corners there because that gives me the accurate centre of the zip. So I put metal to metal because I'm obviously not going any further with the zip. Fold it. In fact, I'm going to check that all the teeth are in this zip. That zip there I can reuse, but that zip there's got to go in the bin. Right, just check these in. Lovely, lovely. This one, lovely, lovely. Right, go and get the picker and unpick it. Unpick it. I bet the picker's sitting there. Where's the picker? Where's the picker? No idea. And I actually put these zips in really, really well because I did think that the apron is going to get a lot of use. You know, being a teacher's apron, they'll be using that pocket all the time. So these zips were secured really well. I don't know what I've done with my picker. This is why my room is in a mess and I work in a mess, because I put something down and I can't find it. So this is going to take me a little while, so I'm going to come off camera again and come back later. So both zips are back out again. Just pick all those bits out because they're going to look messy with the new zips, and the new zips are bright green. Oh, mine's not on. Again, the iron closes the holes. And that's what we need for the new zips to go in. Still picking all the little threads off. I just like it to be tidy. I'm laughing because I have a really messy craft room. So, oops, I'm going to go and sew those two zips in. Here they are. One's going to be that way and one's going to be that way. Round two. So I've now put the new zips in and I'm checking them again. I actually rushed them this time because I was so annoyed. The thing to do when you're putting these zips in is take your time, which I didn't do with these ones, but I did with the first set. So now you can see I've got some white fabric underneath here. I'm going to cut that out now with the same size as my apron panel, and that's going to be the lining. So you don't need to see me cut that out. So I've sewn over a lining for the pocket. I'm just going to trim this because there's a bit of bulk there. I'm just going to trim that with the bluntest scissors, because my dressmaking scissors are in a bag somewhere where I started a project. As you can see there, I didn't sew it straight first time, so I did it again. So I'm just taking away that bulk. And these scissors need to go in the bin as well. More rubbish, more rubbish. Give it a press. Give it a press. The zips are under there. I've just felt the zips. And press it. Oh, press it this way too. Give it a press there. Give it a press here. Give it a press there. And then I'm just going to go and do a little top stitch all the way along there, so as it makes it nice and firm. So I've done just a top stitch there, and put that in place so it won't roll over, because what I don't want is the green coming down and you being able to see the white when it's on the apron. So that's that part done. I'm going to go and get the apron and set it out. So I'm going to take the apron off the embroidery frame, which has the interfacing on. And what I do is I cut that out very carefully. It comes off really easily with the scissors. Just take that back piece off. Stabilizer, that's what that paper's on the back. This is called stabilizer. So as you can see, I reuse this over and over again, because if I'm just pinning the fabric to the top, it works. So it saves me putting more stabilizer on that every time. So I don't need to remove that stabilizer from the back, but I'll take that piece there out. But I can just leave that on there because we're not going to see it, and it's not serving any purpose to remove it either. So again, I love the ironing board because it just sets everything out in the right place for me. I'll put them two zips together like that, just to see where the centre of this is. And a little mark there with a grey pencil to tell me that that's the centre. So as I know to put that just there. And this then helps me to pin it in place. There's that little thread that was trying to escape earlier. I'll get rid of that. And I'm going to pull it down just slightly because I don't like the way it's just sitting on the Mrs. Smith. Okay. So now I'm going to pin that together so as it's in place. There will be a line up the middle here. There'll be a stitch line up the middle, and you'll see that in a second. But the purpose of this next part is to measure a smaller apron, because there's another little apron that sits across the front here. So the reason I'll keep turning it over is I want to see how much apron I've got left. So it's going to be, yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So I need to get the green again, the green fabric, and I need about maybe 6 inches. So let me measure that. The biggest ruler in the world. So there's the bottom of the apron there. So yeah, if I have about 6 inches, inches. By, oh, it's already got a groove there where I've used it before. Right, I'm going to cut that then and come back. So, finally cut out 6 inches by 24. Now what I'm going to do is line that then, similar to the other pocket, sew it along here, fold it over, put a hem on the top, and then that'll be ready to put on the apron. So, there's the apron. I've still got the line there, so I know that's the top. Here's the next part, which I just want just below that a little bit. I've now sewn in the middle pocket and the other pockets are all sewn in. So you've got a pocket here, which there will be when it's sewn in, pocket there, pocket there, pocket there. You'll have a big pocket here and a big pocket here, and then you'll have these 2 zip pockets, which are separate. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pockets. 8 pockets. So I have sewn 2 lines down the ends here and that centre line. So now just snip all these threads off. I don't need, take the pins out because I don't need the pins now, it's all secure. That's fine. Now what I do is turn it over, because I'm going to put it through the overlocker now, and I need all of this bulky fabric gone. So out comes my blunt scissors, and I cut my fabric that way. I am mindful that I can use some of this fabric on other projects, so I'll get rid of it all. There's a good piece of green fabric there that could be used on another project. So as you've probably seen some of my slow stitching videos, and all of these little pieces are ideal for that. So I have a big bag full and I collect all the scraps that are useful. I think that are useful. So what I'm going to do now is fold this over like so and stitch down here, along here and up there, but I'm going to leave enough room here to get my hand in to pull it inside out. Yeah, so I'll be back in a minute. So nearly at the final stages. There's the pockets, there's the 2 big pockets, 4 little pockets. You can see now it's all sewn all the way around the edges, and I've reinforced it here and here, and now I'm about to add the waistband. So how I measure the waistband is I go 5 times the width of the apron, and that usually gives it enough of a waistband. Another thing I'm going to add here is a key ring. And it's finished. So just cut all the loose threads now. Oh, there's one. And I found a nice little ribbon, green ribbon there to put that key fob on. just find the odd threads. Wrist. Okay. So I made these little thank you cards and wrote on the back. I actually made a sticker for my QR code for my Etsy shop. And this little picture here is my friend Lynn. She started an art class some time ago, and I asked her to send me all of her pictures of her art, and then I printed them, cut them out, and I put them on the front of the thank you cards. So that's going to go inside the apron, and then I made these little stickers, which when I wrap it up in tissue paper, I'm going to stick one of these on. So